Hey everybody, this is Perch. What about killing? What about killing people? Oh, there goes my. There's YouTube pulling my video right there. YouTube's gotten a lot more aggressive lately, and they've done some sweeps. I've noticed. They got a batch of subscribers subtracted, and it's curious. It's curious what YouTube does. It goes in weird little waves. 3 or 4 months will go by and nothing, and then suddenly they're like censoring and deleting like half the comments that are being made, and to me it's consistency. Like you can do whatever you want, but they leave up comments. And by the way, their whole spam filtering thing is a freaking joke. Every single video, every single day, somebody comes in with this word salad of Spanish, just and with links to adult sites, and those things, no problem, fly through every single day, no worries, barely an inconvenience. But somebody mentions the Punisher, and it's a mess. I got a flag on the Punisher. It's like, ooh, Punisher is YouTube had it was a video. It was an older video, and it was a video about the Punisher. And YouTube had determined that the Punisher, just that name, and I didn't mention anything about this in the video. But the Punisher was a white nationalist propaganda, and it was it's curious. It's curious what's going on. Anyway, there you go. But back to I got an email here about killing. So we're going to get right into death. It says, hey, Perch, I'll just jump right into it. In your video, Killing the Joker, you talked about how it's generally understood that superheroes don't kill. If a writer does have the hero kill, then he's broken the character and they aren't heroes anymore. I don't completely disagree, which means you don't completely agree either. That's anyway. But there is something I noticed about this argument, about how selective people are with superheroes killing. They get selectively outraged over one hero killing, but don't get outraged over another hero doing exactly the same thing. I see where you're going with this, mail, and you're correct. Just straight out. All right. Captain America killed Nazis and Hydra agents in his comics and movies, and nobody really goes on about how he's not a hero for it. In fact, he's celebrated for it. Iron Man killed the terrorists who held him hostage in the first movie, and has no real issue with lethal force who deserve it. Moving away from big names, Jessica Jones' entire story arc in her Netflix show is her angst over killing Kilgrave, the Purple Man, is the right thing to do. A character, in my opinion, makes Joker look pleasant by comparison. And eventually, the story goes on to conclude and absolve her for it. Yeah, it's totally okay to kill the Purple Man because he'll just kill, rape hundreds more if he's not stopped. It was curious. That was kind of the outcome of that show. And by the way, while we're at it, recently, if you saw the video, a viewer sent me some video that he had taken at Disney World over the Marvel store, and I was reminded again of there's one ride in Disney that is profoundly weird in terms of you go on a ride where you murder the hell out of could in some cases millions of people. But on almost every ride, you murder at least a couple. And I'm talking about Star Tours. So, again, pardon the segue, but it's true. You go on this ride, and the basic premise is it's space tourism. Okay, it's Elon Musk has made it all happen, and it's a far future or whatever, and or a galaxy long time ago, or I don't know. Anyway, you're basically you're on a space tourism adventure. This would be like you boarding your Delta Airlines flight to go to Hawaii, right? Off you go. And in this ride, basically, the mishap happens, and something goes on, and very quickly, the droid R2D2 is kind of navigating, and C3PO are there. They whip out guns in the front of your ride and just start firing on stormtroopers and exploding stuff. And clearly, people are caught in that blast. Like people are dying right off the bat. You're murdering. Now imagine if you're on a Delta Airlines flight headed to Hawaii, and suddenly the pilot's like, "Uh-oh, we got some bad news. The Taliban is in the area. So we're just going to fly this thing down and whip out our Gatling guns that are strapped to the front of this plane. We're gonna wipe them out." But it doesn't stop there. The ship then proceeds to go to various things. The ride is always a little different, and one of the bits is they do this pod racing thing, And C3PO gets immediately comfortable with going and doing pod racing and and ramming other racers into the side of canyon walls and all kind all kinds of stuff. He quickly I mean just and or they blow up ships and planets and all kinds of basically what I'm saying is Star Tours is murder. That's that's what I'm saying. Next time you go on that ride, I'm telling you, just think about that. Think about how many people you are just killing. By and the fact that you boarded a tourist flight. You boarded you boarded Delta Airlines, and now suddenly you're blowing up planets. I'm sorry if that was a long segue, but there you go. That's why you listen to the show to hear me say, okay, make your standard joke, Mumbles. Anyway, so back to the mail. Um, she didn't become a villain or stop being a hero by killing her villain, the way Superman and Batman would be if they were put in the exact same place. See Injustice for Superman or The Nail for Batman. In fact, the entire MCU franchise seems to downplay or outright ignore the whole superheroes don't kill topic. That seems to be a majority of complaints people have with DC Comics and DC movies. The only times people really get outraged over a hero killing a bad guy, and I mean really outraged, is one of the three heroes: Superman, Batman, or Spider-Man, who kills the bad guy. And Spider-Man seems to be the one exception to the superheroes who shouldn't kill in the Marvel Universe, since that entire universe doesn't seem to have an obsession with it the way DC does. In summary, my question is, why are some people so outraged when DC heroes like Batman or Superman kill off a villain, but not for, say, Iron Man or Captain America, mostly Marvel characters doing the exact same thing? If Iron Man and Cap are Batman and Captain America equivalents, Iron Man and Cap are you mean Batman and Superman equivalents, respectively in their universes, shouldn't fans be just as angry when they take a supervillain's life as they do with Batman and Superman? If you're going to get mad when Superman, the moral standard by which the whole DC universe is judged, kills Zod or Darkseid or Doomsday, you should get just as mad when Captain America, the moral standard of his universe, does it to the Red Skull or Thanos. After all, if heroes don't kill, then by that standard, Captain America and Iron Man were never heroes. Is it not hypocritical of fans to go after creators who have some heroes kill, but to give others a pass for the exact same thing because it wasn't their favorite character? Why give Jessica Jones a pass for Kilgrave, but not Superman a pass for Zod, Batman, or Joker? Cool. Um, so it's not, again, I don't, it's not framed up quite exactly right there. So first off, you can basically hand wave some of this stuff away, and I'll explain how. So Captain America during the war was at war. He was a soldier. So rules are different in much the same way that soldiers go off to war in real life, and they come home and they can't go around and start shooting muggers and things. They can't immediately become the police, but so because you're declared at war. Iron Man was captured by terrorists in a remote region out there somewhere. Was it Afghanistan in the movies, or was it Vietnam that he was at in the comics? I don't know. I should know that. That's some trivia that's escaping my head at the moment. But anyway, so it wasn't exactly the same setting as what you have here. Jessica Jones was never, meant to be a hero in the same way as Captain America, Spider-Man, Iron Man. She gets a different kind of pass. She's basically, she was the anti-hero a little bit. She was a street level hero. So, it is a different standard for her. That's by intent. So I think that, it's not all the same. However, your larger point is that Marvel seems to dismiss this more than DC. And DC does get hung up on thou shalt not kill for their heroes, and Marvel just kind of does a little bit. But keep in mind, Captain America, you see him in action, kind of bouncing around. And what's funny is always when the artist and the writer are not quite on the same page, and the writer's like having Captain America talk or think like, I'm going to disable these Hydra guards. I'm not going to kill them. But then he's like throwing his shield at like 60 miles an hour into somebody's neck. It's like, well, okay, you're clearly killing all these people. The Ta-Nehisi Coates run had a bunch of moments of that, of Cap, like, heroes don't kill. Meanwhile, he's like, throwing people off buildings and things. You're like, well, what do you think's going to happen there? But it is, I think, So it was this Superman snaps Zod's neck, and it was funny to see people's reaction where they're like, "Oh my God, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen in the world," in the movies. And it's like, okay, I get you on one hand, but on the other hand, you do understand that, superhero comic movies are doing different things. And in particular, the one you're trying to emulate, Marvel, is having people get killed left and right. So I mean, it's you can draw the line here, but it becomes kind of a weird line as a viewer when you're cheering on, the various Marvel movies. There's tons of people who absolutely loved the Marvel movies, and even if you say, well, aliens aren't people, and I'm not sure that fits with Captain America or Thor's, personality either. But if you say only humans' lives matter, that's no, not going to go there. Anyway, if you do that, there's still plenty of murder in those, especially in those movies, and people are like, yeah, these are amazing, they're great, perfect comic movies, and then suddenly Zack Snyder gets over to DC, and they're like, oh, Superman doesn't kill, what the hell? So I mean, I do think there's a double standard. You're correct. Why is there one? I don't know. I think I think Marvel, their perception of being the grittier universe outside your window kind of stuff, winds up giving them a bit of a pass that DC doesn't get. And it's unfair, and a lot of it's window dressing, not actual content or meat to it. But it is what it is. Um, I don't know. To me, I think the problem, if you have superheroes kill, I think it does break the character, but in a lot of kind of odd ways. The biggest way is that writers will then use that for the rest of that character's life as part of their story, and it shouldn't be. It tilts them in a direction that I think is harmful for the character. And I think we've seen that play out, quite frankly, with a number of Marvel characters. So, anyway, very good mail, good thought provoking topic. So, I'm curious what people have to say. So, leave your comments below, like and subscribe, of course. And thanks for listening.